In the
Welcome
Bowl.
to the In the Bowl podcast. Shout out to Hustle 5 Ways for shabbing us. I'm your host, Naz.
Jada, Tallman.
This show is sponsored by your nation's own CSHTU company. Not only do they do private events, but they do retail, distribution, and supply all of your needs. Whether it's showing you how to set it up, giving you some of the, the proper ways to enjoy the experience, and all the advice as to how you enjoy everything when partaking in a social gathering such as this.
Exactly.
So what's up, man?
Exactly. I mean, what's good? Episode 3, Thanksgiving week.
Cheers.
Let's cheers it up.
Cheers.
Another one.
Yes, episode 3. What's up, man?
Yeah, man.
What you got in the bowl today? What we got? What we doing?
It's Thanksgiving. So we got the, we got the delivery from Shisha to you. Got the holiday mix. So what they did is they gave us, they call it pumpkin pie. It's a pumpkin shisha mixed with a little vanilla. You got that mix just right because, when you mix your shisha, it's like cooking.
Okay.
You got to make sure whether it's, 3 parts this, 1 part that, half and half. You got to have the right balance. And I got to say they killed it with this one. Because
this is solid.
Because you got that pumpkin flavor there, but then you got that vanilla on the back end. It's nice and smooth, man. I like it. All set for Thanksgiving. So, man, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. I got my Thanksgiving Timbs on.
And I got my Thanksgiving phones on.
I feel you. Yeah, man. It's I don't know. Thanksgiving is one of those things you either put your suit and tie on, or you go around folks, and that's why I love Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's, when you with family, friends, family, whatever you want to call it, people who mean something to you, or even if you are by yourself, but you're enjoying this time of just taking that time to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what I get from it. I know that, there's some other stories or whatever behind it, but for me, it's, I feel that, I got a decent sized family. Right, and so with us,
y'all are deep.
Yeah, we got a decent sized family, so it gets to that area to where, for me, even if we're not in a holiday, we gather around the kitchen table.
Yeah.
I mean, we can eat anything between olive to having some wings, having beef. We can do whatever it is. We can have just water. We can have drinks, whatever it is. But usually we're congregating. No TV on, no distractions, no phones, Like, we don't put our phones in no basket. It's just a genuine time. And that's where I think Thanksgiving is just one of those times where we're able to do it more. And
makes sense.
Certain dishes that come out around that time. You're like, I can do that, I can do this, I can do whatever. But Thanksgiving is it's one of my great times because, again, I got to worry about the people I'm around. I know whoever I'm around on Thanksgiving Day is who I want to be around.
I definitely feel you on that. Definitely, looking forward to Thanksgiving, it messes up my eating regiment, a little bit, but, it's worth it, to be around family.
Yeah, you a big juicer.
Yeah, definitely, try to wake up in the morning and, either juice or, make a smoothie or something.
Yeah.
And eat around, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
After the gym. I'm trying to, stay fit. I figure, we got a lot of vices.
Yeah.
So I try to use, eating good and things like that to kind of balance things out. In my head it makes sense. It sounds good.
Yeah.
Somebody from the outside looking in may think differently, but it's all good. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions.
Hey, health is wealth. That goes with mental and physical.
Exactly.
It goes with, we talked about it last time. It's in the last episode. It's about what means something to you. You're making yourself better, and if you feel like that makes your insides and your health better, then that's where you are.
Yeah, no, I agree. I get a lot of flack, from the crew, for some of the vitamins I take and things of that nature. We're not going to name drop any brands on here because they're not sponsoring us yet.
Yes.
You know, and when they do, then we'll make sure we put them, front and center stage. But I try to make sure there's a good balance there.
Yeah. And this is one reason why I kind of wore this hoodie, though. To be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's kind of one reason. Just in the sense that it's got one of my favorite movies, Juice. And it's just an image of four brothers that. Unfortunately, again, you got somebody in the crew that it hurts, but they go through those up and downs, they go through those up and downs, and it just shows how things change, evolve, grow, and a bad apple can hurt a lot of stuff. So this is my how I feel about Thanksgiving, man. Got the close people over around me, and just be careful.
No, I feel you, man. That was a great movie. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I'm not wrong often, but every now and then I may miss something. But I think that was Tupac's first movie that he was in. So I mean, it definitely is it's a classic.
Yeah, it's
a classic. It was a good story, and it showed how how one bad apple or one event can change things. Because last week we talked about taking a step back and assessing the situation instead of just reacting.
Yeah.
And how that can get you caught up.
Yeah.
And we look back at the movie Juice. A lot of things go back to one incident that happened. And from that incident, everything kind of spiraled from there. And we saw how it played out.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts.
But on to Thanksgiving, man. So Thanksgiving. So what is the one dish or the signature dish that you're looking forward to?
I'm gonna lie, man. I stick with the mac and cheese.
Nah, I respect it.
Mac and cheese is a staple. Mac and cheese is, you got people who make different variations of mac and cheese. You got meats put in it, but it's one of those things where if you make a solid mac and cheese mixed with the other complements on the table, it could be an amazing meal.
No, trust me, I agree. And, one of the things, small man, the boys just like me. The boys are foodie, loves a good mac and cheese. If the mac and cheese is not solid, he's gonna tell you what he thinks about it.
Disappointment.
Exactly. So I definitely dig that.
What you feeling? What you got? What you got on your plate?
Well, Thanksgiving, on our side is a little different. You'll have the traditional foods, but then you may have, oxtails and various things. So, man, I'm just looking forward to, eating some salads this week. Getting my body ready.
Yeah.
To consume for about 48 hours.
Facts.
Just a ton of good foods, a rum cake. Coquito.
Okay. Okay.
Not big on the eggnog. I don't knock anybody who drinks the eggnog, but I see it every time I'm in the grocery store. I see like the pre-made stuff sitting there. I know you can go home and jazz it up a little bit with whatever you prefer, but the coquito. Yeah, that's solid for me.
No, I feel you. Yeah, that whole plate arrangement is big on Thanksgiving.
Oh, definitely. So, and I know I try to have, at least 2 plates, and this is to start with.
Yeah.
Because, it's so much, and while everything is there and it's nice and fresh and it's hot, I'm trying to make sure that I can dibble and dabble and get a bit of everything. Then on round 2, for the seconds, then I'm a little bit more strategic.
Yeah.
I'm not walking, with 2 plates. I'm walking, kind of with the one plate sitting down and kind of picking off of it. Then make check out, a football game, Thanksgiving is always big in football. All day long.
There you go. But it made me think, you made a point, for the 48 hours, you're just consuming food, right? I don't know what it is about, I don't know about you, but my family has mastered the way of turning turkey into 10 different dishes.
Oh, of course.
You know, and the very last day is my favorite. You know,
the last day.
The last day,
okay.
the 10th day is my favorite day.
Speak on it.
Because anything that is left becomes now a soup. Alright? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all about, like, I know the bone has all the meat and all that, and it has a flavor in it.
The flavor, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you get the random pieces of the carcass, you know what I'm saying, inside this pot. But that is the greatest soup. And somehow, now this meat has lasted a few more days. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, I don't know how we mastered that, but it always goes back to we are resourceful folks.
Oh, yeah.
What can we not do?
Oh, no.
What can we not do?
I agree, and you know, it's crazy because, you know, with my family, I don't even know if the turkey makes it long enough to become soup.
Mm.
You know, because you know, you got the deep fried turkey. You may have a jerk turkey. You may have a regular turkey.
Yeah.
And other things. There are a couple of other things out there. You know, I'm not a culinary artist.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not going to sit here and throw those words out and use them, you know, incorrectly. But, you know, I mean, the turkey usually goes quick. You know, it usually goes from, you know, Thanksgiving to, you know, maybe you have some turkey hash. You know, shout outs to my family in the South. You know, you mix it up with the gravy and, you know, all that stuff. And, you know, you make a meal out of it. Then it goes to sandwich phase.
Yeah.
You know, you got a nice turkey sandwich. And, you know, I'm not big on mayo. You know, but there's a spicy mayo. You know, so in my mind, that spicy mayo is not mayo.
Is it mayo or is it the color? What is it the flavor? Is the texture? What is it mayo? That's always a conversation. I heard some people be like, I don't like certain stuff in my food. Mayo is a big one that always comes up. And I can't tell if it's, because people eat sriracha mayo all the time.
Exactly.
But people won't eat mayo. So is it the texture? Is it the color? Is it the thought of it? What is it?
You know.
And I like Miracle Whip, so I'm going to let that be known. But,
well, we're going to come back to Miracle Whip in a second, because Miracle Whip is something totally different. That's just a little...
It's a salad dressing.
That's a little too sweet, but, you know, I think I would say, you know, go on record, I don't like regular mayo, or I don't like plain mayo. You have a sriracha mayo, a spicy mayo, I'm all over it. You know, so I like a little bit of spice to my food. You know, everything gets spiced up. Yeah. You know, so I couldn't do the regular version of it. But, you know, you make a nice, you know, sandwich. You know, you stack that turkey in there. That's a solid meal.
Nah, I hear you. So let me ask you a question when you're you know what I'm saying, just before we go to the next subject. For your plate, do you mix your foods? Like, so when you asked me what my favorite dish was, I said mac and cheese, which it is. Right?
Okay.
I'm gonna stand by that.
No, I respect that.
Cause the mac and cheese this week, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably be like, it was alright, but who made the mac and cheese?
Oh, yeah.
And I got some good mac and cheese makers in my family.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's key, because everybody can't do the mac and cheese.
And not everyone. And there are people that are appointed to do the mac and cheese specifically. Like, look, don't do nothing else. Just focus on that and we're good. And even though they make multiple dishes that are great, you know, mac and cheese is where it's at. But the question is, on your plate, are you someone that tries to divide it and eat one piece so you only have that particular flavor? Or do you, because actually the best mix is a piece of turkey.
All right.
That's all in one fork.
No, I'm with you.
It's a piece of turkey.
All right.
With 2 macaroni and cheese noodles.
2.
Give it 3 if you want to.
I like odd numbers. All right.
A little scoop of sweet potatoes. No, actually, yeah, sweet potatoes. Because I'm going to tell you something else I learned. We think we eat yams. We don't eat yams. I'm telling you, yams is something completely different than what we truly eat. We eat sweet potatoes here. Yeah. So let's make that be known.
Yeah,
they are not yams.
They're sweet potatoes.
They're sweet potatoes. We do not have yams.
We call it candy yams.
We do. They're not. They're sweet potatoes.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Unless you get that root, you're not making a yam.
Nah.
So again, sweet potatoes. So what you do is, spoiler alert. So what you do is you get a little piece of turkey.
No, okay.
It's a mac. A little scoop of yams. That's my favorite. You get your salt, You get your little bit of dairy. You get all 7 food groups. You get milk. You get grains. You get meat, your protein, and you get a vegetable.
Hold on, what's the vegetable?
The candy yam.
Is that a vegetable or a starch?
It's a healthy starch, dog. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's part of it's. That's my vegetable, that's my vegetable. I have greens on the plate too, but that's my vegetable.
So the greens don't get. Okay, let it slide today.
I appreciate that.
But I guarantee
That's not true.
In the very near future, yes, live your truth, but in the very near future, we're gonna come back to that whole discussion over, starch. It's a vegetable and things of that nature, because it's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But it's up for interpretation, and like I said, I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna be over opinionated.
I appreciate it. That's what I like. I don't judge you. That's what it is for Thanksgiving. That's what it is for Thanksgiving. We always got some folks for Thanksgiving time. Let's get into it, right?
Well, but before we go there, man, you're not gonna let me touch on, how I eat my food.
My fault.
How it's prepped.
I eat your food.
It's all good. Now it depends on whether it's an American dish or a Caribbean dish. Because if it's an American dish, I may have, the rice with the gravy, scoop of stuffing, scooping that all up, with the turkey at the same time. So, that's quality. But, if it's a Caribbean dish, of course, there's going to be, some sort of, rice and peas or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So it may be oxtail with the rice and peas, or, some curry with the rice and peas or something. You can't just eat rice by itself.
So do you mix your Caribbean with your American, or would you do, if you got 2 plates one night and you have both your families there, like a blend, and you're hosting, right? Would you have?
That's a tough.
I mean, which one? You just gonna ignore one the whole night?
No, I may end up having more than 2 plates, because if the spread is that deep, I'm definitely going to make sure that, like I said, round 1 is sampling everything. So you're getting things, and I'm gonna be strategic. But it's a tough toss-up. It's a tough toss-up because sometimes you enjoy the traditional American Southern cuisine.
Yeah.
And other times you feel for the Caribbean cuisine. It all depends on what's going on. But if you have both in one place, man, that's like brain overload.
Yeah. I hear you.
And that's when you end up packing your first round plate so much that you may not see the second round.
Yeah.
Because either you're full, you're inebriated, or you're full and inebriated.
Yeah.
So when it gets time for round 2, we could be talking about, a couple of hours later.
Yeah. That's true. And the crazy thing, there's actual chemical in turkey that makes you fall asleep.
I've heard that.
Yeah. I'm not even going to sit here and try to act like I know the name of it. I just know that there is a chemical inside of a turkey that makes you fall asleep. And if that is your main dish, I feel like I have broke the conspiracy of us having the itis. All right? I've broken that theory. It's not. They've given us a turkey that has a chemical in it, and it was on purpose.
And you know what? I've heard that too. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't done the in-depth research, to support it. But I have noticed in my foodie life, that massive amounts of turkey on your plate round 1, it's gonna sit you down for a minute.
That's why even Thanksgiving, I don't even go to eat people's houses. I go to one person's house. Where I'm at is where I'm going to be at. Because either I am full, or I had a lot of water, or I had a decent amount of turkey because someone killed the turkey.
Yeah, and I think, that's why, we get a couple days out of the turkey, because I know me personally, I'll grab, a couple pieces, once I see it all carved up, or if I'm doing carving, but I don't go too heavy on turkey. I don't go in now.
Yeah.
The Mac,
I like the sides, yeah.
Yeah. I'm all over that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sides are solid.
You know, there's a story in the crew which you may or may not have heard, but I went to a function once. Someone was having a housewarming party, and I tried the mac. The mac was solid.
Mm-hmm.
The mac was so solid. I went back for a second round. I had a whole plate of mac. You know, it probably wasn't the best thing to do at an event when you're like a new person.
Yeah.
But it was just that good. I didn't know if it was gonna be there.
You lactose?
No, I'm not lactose. I'm just saying that
You just kid everyone's mac?
when you walk around with a plate of mac like that, you know, when you gotta double up your plate and walk with two hands with it, you know it's a solid sized plate.
Yeah, that's what. No, but I think that's like a hats off to the chef, though.
It
It's
is.
a hats off. It's a compliment.
And it's also a fear thing because it's like
That's for self. I get you.
let me get what I can get now because if I come back in an hour, it may not be good.
Yeah.
That's how good it was.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, mac is solid. Mac is solid.
Mac is dangerous,
Yeah.
but I love it though.
Yeah. Mac is good.
Now let me ask you the hard question. You know, and before I ask this question, I'm just going to get a little water.
Yeah. Stay hydrated, folks.
Got to. Hydrate responsibly.
Facts.
So, I'm trying to figure out how to pose this question. If you have a family member or a family member, you know, who is not the best culinary specialist, right? And when it's time to go, you know, you got everybody picking up to-go plates, and you see the dish that they bought, and the dish is like 80% full.
Yeah.
Do you feel inclined to take from that dish and take it home, or separate it, just for the sake of, you know, at the end of the night when everybody's putting things away, it's like that dish has been dipped into. And you go home and you know that that's going off to the side. Or do you just completely pass that up like, yeah, I'm not messing with that. We're going to keep it moving. I'm going to load up on everything else.
I mean, that's a hard one, man. It all depends on the relationship with that individual, you know. I mean, think about it. I don't care what anyone says, you know what I'm saying? We got family members, and I love my entire family. But there are levels to certain things. Just keep it, there's levels, right? So, I feel that if there is a dish that I like more of, I will intentionally fill my plate more of that dish.
Okay.
Now, granted, it may not even be of a protein or a meat, you know, a protein, right?
Yeah.
But if I like something,
be a vegetable.
Yeah, you know. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna load it up so much on that plate to where I'll dibble dabble on there, and someone says, "Hey, did you get any of this?" I'll be like, "I had no room in my plate." If there's a little bit of side of it, I'm like, I put it there. But think about it. Any part of or anything you put on your plate that you don't like takes away space for stuff that you do like. And again, it's living in your truth. And unfortunately, it's like, if you went 4 hours, because Thanksgiving is one of those things, like I said, I stay the whole night. Like, I show up, and I'll stay the whole night, right?
Exactly. Same here.
So,
Same here.
after hour 6, if there's still 80% of that plate, hopefully someone has said, like, you know, I'm going to pass on this a few other times. And, you know, it's just accepting that you don't hurt no one's feelings. But unfortunately, you know, that's just a consensus for the night. Because maybe they make something else good. But that dish that they wanted to try, on the worst year to try a new dish on, I mean, take it as constructive criticism.
No, you gotta take a sympathy scoop. And that's what we call it.
So what's a scoop? Is a scoop a ladle or is a scoop a little teaspoon?
I mean, you taking enough to make an impact in the dish. You know, if somebody
that's not my responsibility.
If somebody can't tell that you done dipped in that dish with a sense of urgency, you know, I mean, if you go around the edges and get the crust or something, that doesn't count, man. You gotta dig deep in there.
So we talking about like sympathy scoops.
That's it.
Oh man, you doing sympathy scoops out here nowadays?
I mean, you got to. Now, you know, I'm a pretty straightforward person. You know, if there's something that is prepared for me, and you know I don't like it, or you know something was off with it, I'm gonna be straight up and tell you.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, that was a little too salty for me.
Yeah.
Look, that didn't have enough flavor in it for me.
Yeah.
Look, it was a little bit dry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you so you can go back and perfect your craft. Because I don't want you going out in the world making that dish for somebody else.
Yeah.
And getting your feelings hurt.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. You sound a lot like my wife, man. My wife, she is a queen at that. I can look at her plate and I can determine as to what's good and what's not, which is why I be like, make the plate. It's not, I don't need it for me. Make your plate first. I'll figure it out. But I will look at her plate and say, I'm not going for that. Definitely about to hit this. I can look at her plate and she perfected that craft. And no one ever questions her. Everyone's like, oh, she's so nice. Nah, no, she's not. She just judged the shit out of you. And I can tell by her plate of how much she really thinks you can cook.
Yeah.
She just did that. And I sit there and I'm like, damn, she's crafty. She could do that. And I learned from that. That's what I say. Is it a sympathy scoop? So I don't know if she's a sympathy scoop, but she does like, I'm good scoop.
No.
You're right.
You know what? And I respect that. And
I don't know, man. I feel like that's a dig, man. I'd be like,
I mean, it's 50-50.
Cause what if you know who cooked it and you're like, damn, do I tell them that I know for a fact that your joint's probably weak? Or do I sit there and be like,
Oh, man. Whew.
and it's your family, it's your family, whatever it is.
Yeah, yes. I mean, family is different, because, you know, when you start talking about, you know who made what, you know, I think back to, like, potlucks.
Yeah.
And not to veer too far off topic for Thanksgiving. You know, but, you know, it's some individuals who, you know and you've observed.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I can't eat anything they prepared.
Hold on, so I got a question. So that's like Thanksgiving too, because it's not far off the subject, because Thanksgiving can be a potluck. Like I know family members that hosted more than 50 people in one evening, right? And so you don't expect one person to make that. So say people brought stuff from their crib, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was always told, I don't gotta eat it from everyone's house.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
So if I've been there before and I'm like, because maybe the food ain't bad, but at the same time is you still like, I know what you do over there, I'm good. I ain't about to eat that.
But you know, with family,
I don't know what just flew in that, because your air was blowing.
but with family and family, you have that relationship with them when you can have those hard conversations, those heart-to-hearts. You know, if it's a coworker or a colleague, you know, you're playing that political game. You know, where you're not trying to offend anybody, you're not trying to step on anybody's toes. You just casually, gracefully bypass their dish.
Yeah, I do that by the table with the family too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't like this, but it may be good because other people like it. Like I see it get eaten, but I'm like, it's just something I don't partake in.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
Brussels sprouts. Like don't bring Brussels sprouts. That's that new millennial shit. Like
nah, I can't touch
if I can
that.
leave Brussels sprouts out of here.
Yeah,
Brussels
yeah.
sprouts do not belong at Thanksgiving.
That's non-stop.
If I see baked, broiled, sauteed Brussels sprouts at the table, don't put Parmesan on it. Don't put none of that shit on it. Brussels sprouts are out.
So even if they dress it up, it's a no-go?
It's not. No. That's not a time of the year that you try to experiment. No. This is keep it traditional.
But you know, I mean, some people feel that, you know, experimenting around Thanksgiving with their family is a safe place.
That's supposed to be the one that. That's no. Fuck no. If you do that, I'm judging. And guess what? Your plate will not get scooped. Because guess what? I will sit there and be like, did you make this before? They'll be like, nah. I'm gonna be like, that's why it's just sweet.
Nah, but it could be a
Winner though, you never know.
So if it wins, that's cool. But I'm gonna ask, did you make this before? And if it's good, I'll be like, good job. If you didn't, I'll be like, this is exactly why. Why would you try today? You should have tried this shit 3 weeks ago. Don't try this shit on Thanksgiving night. Don't do that. Don't do that. Wrong time.
Nah, trust me, I get it. I understand. So let's talk about something else wild, because we all have, you know, that one uncle or that one cousin You know, every Thanksgiving, you know, they're showing up with somebody new.
Yeah.
And you know what's gonna happen. You know, it's not like a surprise. It's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
It's like clockwork because that's who they are. That's how they operate.
Yeah.
You know, how would you and your folks, treat that individual, or welcome that individual, or tell me about that dynamic.
I think it depends who it is. I think if it's that cousin that, again, that has a hard time finding love, finding that one, right?
Let me sit up again. Yeah, please
Right?
continue. Yes.
They have a hard time finding that one,
Okay.
but they really genuinely want to find the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So they intentionally bring them. Cause I don't think you should just bring anyone and everyone around your family.
Yeah, you bring somebody to the family. I mean, that's kind of like a statement of saying, hey, I mean, this is who I am. You know, I want them to meet you all. I want to hear feedback on how you feel about them. I mean, it's a big deal during the holidays.
And I'm not saying there's a time limit. I can't say you can know in a day. You can know in a year, 4 years, who knows? But when you know and you have intentions and you're dating for a purpose, and maybe that person is not dating for a purpose, that is one thing. But if you bring a joint around just to bring a joint around, and we know that's that MO, I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Cool, All right, hey, what y'all about to do over there? What we doing, right? That's what you do with that one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's levels. Like, so if you know someone just brings random joints around just because they don't really care about, they just want to have something for the day, travel around, and because maybe that's the day they don't want to be in the street, so they want to have that one joint with them.
Okay.
That's what you do. You say, hey, what's up? And you go back to your folks and like, what's going on? But if it is somebody that you know that, is trying to find it and just happens to have bad luck or continues looking in the wrong places, but has genuine intentions, then, you try to sit there and give them benefit of the doubt. But it's one of those things where you're just like, hope you find it one day.
Interesting. All right.
That's my thought on it, I think. But we all got that, right? I think.
Yeah.
But then you got ones that, when you get into that world, you have ones that have like open relationships.
Oof.
And that's not a day that, you bring your other folks to it. Or, in our families, like, we always got these secret stories.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because there's some people that are really good at keeping it inside home.
Yeah, and I think that was more prevalent, back in the day, and with social media, I think that's kind of dissipated.
That doesn't happen now.
No.
And I think that's a fault of this era. That's an issue that is a problem. This society, like we were talking about it before, society is all about putting shit on a display, getting input from others, having other people weigh in and giving value or impact to one's life, and they know nothing about anything that happened behind the scenes.
Exactly.
And so, we all got, I think, back then we had that. Now I don't know if it happens as much now because everything's on the forefront.
Yeah.
But back then, again, we talk about evolving, try to do better, this, that, and the third, or whatever. But they know, they do what they know. You don't know what you don't know. So, but now you're able to see everything.
No, I agree.
So I don't know if it's happened as much, but I just feel like nowadays I haven't seen as much. I will see random folks come through that I'm just like, that's not about to work, but what's up? Glad to see you. Go grab a drink. Hey, I'm about to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Type of situation. But I don't know. I think that's where it's at.
I mean, it's always interesting because, you know, I mean, back in the days, you know, every family, you know, had that uncle, you know, that it came out the woodwork that they had a whole separate family somewhere. You know, things were clean, you know, where, you know, a person passes away. You see these individuals, you know, sitting at the funeral, like, who are they? You know, but now, you know, everything's kind of on Front Street. And I mean, I guess to address the elephant in the room, you know, looking at the Will and Jada situation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild because, I mean, for years there was a debate about them, an ongoing debate.
Didn't they make a word in the dictionary or something? Or was that, you know,
Yeah.
entanglement? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Didn't nobody know about entanglement before them?
Nah, you know what? I had never heard the word. You know, I pride myself on having a pretty substantial, you know, vocabulary.
Is that shit a verb or a noun? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole word. There's a definition behind it.
You know, I think it may be both because it's a person, place, and a thing.
I ain't in an entanglement thing. We about to entangle this thing right here. You know, yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, for years it was an ongoing debate of, you know, whether they had an open relationship. And, you know, I mean, it was such a heated debate. You know, I know of a situation where individuals actually threw hands defending their sides to, you know, talk about it. But, I mean, it's crazy. But, again, it's one of those things like we talked about, you know, last week. You know, the feeling the need to air out your laundry and your dirty laundry, you know, putting everything out there. Man, if you got something that works for you, you know, you keep that, you know, close hold. You know, you keep that in the tuck. But, you know, again, you know, putting out, you know, in the world, you know, for validation from others. Well, I would say validation and criticism, you know, from others. You know, I just don't, you know, don't see the point of it. And, you know, when you look at, you know, open marriages, I mean, at the end of the day, when we look back to, you know, like, you know, Africa and other cultures, you know, where men can have, you know, multiple wives. But the catch is, everyone knows what's going on, you know, and the man has to be able to support, you know, all those families.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can just up and choose to say, look, I like that one, I like that one, we're together. You know, it was a structure around it.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, when you look at it, you know, from that angle, you know, it's definitely, you know, a different, you know, different perspective that shows that, you know, things can open. I know me personally, I have an ego.
Yeah.
I'm not sharing my woman with someone else.
Yeah.
Because, full disclaimer, equal opportunist, you know, there's something men can do. You know, hey, I support women doing it as well. But, you know, I'm not going to be sitting on the couch smoking a hookah while you go out on a date and you going up to meet with John. That's not going to happen.
No, I feel you.
You know?
I feel you, but I think you bring up a good point. I was just looking up, you know, open marriages, I don't know about open marriages, but you bring up like Africa, and you bring up, and when you say Africa, yes, you know, we're talking about culture, we're talking about, you know, ideologies and all that.
Exactly.
The open marriage concept, you know, I think that, I'll say in other countries, continents, you know, beliefs, that divorce rate is lower in certain areas. And I can't say if that plays a part in that. But there are some reasons why. Marriages, do you think that is an avenue to have open conversation and people have more conversations? Or do you feel that, you know, open marriage is one of those excuses? Like, you know, we're going to have a marriage so I can do A, B, and C and run my own routes. Or is an open marriage one of those things to where it's truly open, like we talk about Jada and Will? You know, they've been able to, from what we've read, I don't know them personally, but we've been able to read that obviously whatever they've been doing is open.
Yeah, exactly.
Or there's some unhappiness there, whatever is going on. There's something that's stirring the pot. But they've been able to work through whatever has been, and they're still thriving. Whether it's, you know, some negative stuff like that, or someone, you know what I'm saying? Like, so from open marriages, what is your thought on, do you think that helps relationships? Do you think it's a part of, do you think it can help situations? Do you think it opens up conversations? Like what? Like, open marriage is it's a tough one. You know, because I think it's also what we believe in and what we're taught.
Exactly.
Because if you're taught open marriage is okay, then that's what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, I'll always say, you know, to each his own. You know, I don't judge other people for their actions because everybody's responsible for their own actions. At the end of the day, you know, so who am I to sit here and cast judgment on you, you know, for, you know, what you're doing or something you're doing or what you believe in.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know, if that works for you, that's cool. I respect it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I know me personally, you know, when you get with an individual and you commit to the individual and say, hey, I'm with you, you know, you're with me, you're accepting that person's flaws and all.
Yeah.
So you've accepted that that person only has 90% what you're looking for. Or 80% what you're looking for. They met that threshold.
80-20, huh?
They could go 80-20 rule. You know,
80-20 rule. 80-20 rule.
That's why I threw 90 out first to kind of throw you off a little bit. But, you know, you're accepting them, you know, for, you know, their flaws and all. And you're saying, hey, I'm locked in this situation, you know, with you.
Yeah.
So if it's something that individual doesn't do, you know, it may be a conversation to say, well, you know, look, you know, I really like X, you know, I prefer if you do that. And they're like, all right, well, I'm open to that. But if they don't do that, then you start weighing, all right, well, how much is X, and how important is X to me?
Yeah.
You know, is not having X going to kill me?
Yeah.
You know, and go that route, because I look at it, when you're in open marriage, you're seeking something that your partner doesn't have. So then it comes back to say, all right, well, if I'm seeking something that my partner doesn't have, then why am I with my partner? Why did I make that decision?
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, if you just wanted to, you know, go out and be able to play the field, all right, then why are you in a committed situation to begin with?
Yeah.
Because you could have just been up front and said, hey, I'm not looking for anything, in air quotes, you know, serious, you know, but we can do X, Y, and Z. And if that person is on board, all right, well, you know, you're in a good position. But if they're not on board, then, you know, you move on and find something else.
Yeah, no, that's deep. Like, why make the vow if you're not going to do the vow?
Exactly.
Like, why go through that? You know what I'm saying? Especially being in that clear state of mind. Like, why go through that and force yourself again to be unhappy?
Exactly.
Like, you can lock yourself in for that. No, I agree.
It is. It's a decision you put yourself into.
I agree 100%.
You know, so if you have that transparency where you can have those conversations and you know what, you know, your significant other is willing to do or not willing to do, I mean, you know that up front.
Yeah.
So before you even take those further steps, you know, the onus is on you to say, all right, well, this is not the right situation for me.
Yeah.
And you walk away from it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I
Or,
agree.
you know, you try to force the situation and become unhappy in the situation. And that's a whole different, you know, topic.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So with that, you know, you talk about forcing yourself in a situation. You know, it teeters that line of, if one has more feelings than the other, but the other one wants to make the other one happy, would you allow that person to be in open marriage? Or would you sit there and be like, you know, have that own self-pride and be like, I'm good.
See, I think that's when you start getting into, you know, the other topics of, you know, when one spouse or one individual, you know, enjoys seeing their spouse or significant other with another person and things of that nature. And, you know, I'm not well versed in that that subject, so I'm not gonna go, too deep and sound like I know what I'm talking about, because again, these are just my opinions, our opinions of, having conversation. But again, like I stated, I know my ego.
Yeah.
And when it comes to relationships, man, my ego is fragile. I'm not gonna. It's not an insecurity.
Yeah.
It's not a jealousy thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you're with me, you're with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you with another individual.
Yeah, facts. Yeah. No, that's real, man. That's real. I think a lot of people forget that. Like we were talking about last week, publicizing this stuff. And I think that's when your ego gets shattered even more, right? So I think people have all these comments, all these people projecting their opinions on other people's relationships. So I was always told that keep in-house business in-house.
Yeah.
Because once you start having people judge or putting their thoughts on it, it's like that fight. Fights happen because someone else is instigating.
Oh yeah.
Instigation is just coming from I'm pumping you, I'm pumping you, I'm pumping you, I'm pumping you.
Typing you on,
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. So it gets to that point to where it's like, if no one knew about it, would it be more acceptable? So if they were to keep their open relationship to just them, right?
Yeah.
Would it be as bad, or would it be as negatively frowned upon than it is? And that's my thought. I'm like, if people were just quiet about it, and in-house was communicated or whatever that may have been, and no one knew about it, would that be okay?
I think you're right, because a rumor is a rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody loves, a good story, a good headline, things of that nature. But once you start putting, meat on the bones, and facts to the rumor, then people become more invested,
Yeah.
in the whole situation. Because, I wasn't as happy, when Will sat down at the table talk, and they had that conversation about
The red table.
The red table. Yeah. I was like, what is this for? We don't need to be in your business. Right now everybody's is big and highlighting on therapy and things of that nature, and mental health and all that stuff, and I support all that. If you need to talk to somebody,
mental health is real.
Talk to somebody. But that's
Then
something.
take care of yourself. Mental health is real.
Yeah,
take care of yourself. Remember, wake up in the morning, think about why you up. Just think about why you here, and why. What I'm saying. Maybe the next man next to you may not wake up. So
Exactly.
be grateful.
And
that gratitude.
And that's something you do with a professional. Whether it be, spiritual, psychological, whatever box you want to put it in.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for them to sort your issues out.
Yeah.
There's no need to put that stuff on display and, go out in front of the world to discuss your ongoing issues.
Yeah.
So when you were like, hey, keep stuff, in the family. My mother was big, when I was growing up. Hey, what happens in this house stays in this house. And, my father was the same way. What happens in this house stays in this house. You don't run between houses, passing along information, passing along dirt, and you be in the middle of things and causing drama. So I fully support that. So going on platforms and, hey, this is what's going on with us and how they make you feel, and people turn into memes. I'm like, come on, it's unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think you gotta keep everything in-house. You keep it in-house, I think you're able to get through just about anything.
Exactly.
But when you got other folks weighing in, it starts weighing on your thought and how you're gonna break it down and how you're gonna process it. Because now you have other people looking at you, so now your ego, your pride is being impacted. It's kind of just every time it's getting hit, it's like a jab. And eventually you're gonna break down.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Then you're just gonna react, and again, it's that temporary emotion, that the permanent, impact. So it's one of those things where it's like all that social media, all that, just it's gonna affect tomorrow, man.
Yeah, social media is a gift and curse. Not everything is from social media. You know, your entire, life and everything you do doesn't need to be put on display for the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some things you have to, keep home, keep in the house.
Yeah, no, facts.
But, but before we wrap this up this week, I got to speak on something that's been weighing heavily on me. We were out, about a week or so ago, maybe a week or two. We were at a lounge that had hookah. And, we're still in COVID. COVID hasn't gone anywhere.
Yep.
And, we were at a table, we're smoking hookah. We know each other. We have, our COVID bubble, so we know how everybody moves and, we respect that. And, a random dude walked up to me and was like, yo, can I hit your hookah?
There's a lot of shit I got problems with that. I'm gonna let that ride right there. That's another topic for another day.
And I don't know if you heard me, but I threw it back on you. I was like, look, it's my man's hookah. He's really not trying to show people outside the circle. Yeah. I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's gonna go for that.
Yeah.
And my man is still fumbling in his pockets trying to find a tip. I'm like,
nah.
That's not gonna happen.
Nah, yeah, I remember that. Nah. Sure. Do something, man. Forget about it. What are you doing? And I think this is a fact that, again, you gotta have some pride. You know what I'm saying? Right? You can't just fucking walk up to another man's table and be like, hey, can I get something to hookah? Nah, dog. What is you doing?
No, and to show that, we're not being stereotypical or, we're not, trying to single.
Ain't nobody trying none of that.
Well, one individual out. I mean, there were times back, when I was working in the club. I was posted up in my corner on my stool. There's no reggae or soca was playing, so I was like, I'm not standing up right now. I'm gonna sit down. And this young lady walked up to me and said, yes, such and such told me to come over and try your hookah. And this is pre-COVID.
Yeah.
I didn't know her. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. And beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
So I say that to say that, the way I feel about smoking with strangers goes for both sexes.
Yeah.
You can be a beautiful young lady or a well-dressed gent. I don't know you, you're not smoking with me. Especially during COVID, that's not happening.
Yeah, nah, you got a pocket for that. You don't just walk up to somebody's table. Like I said, that's another conversation. we can divide thoughts on that one, but yeah, nah, that's a whole nother conversation for that.
We'll put a pin in that one.
Table that.
And we'll come back and we'll talk about hookah etiquette and when you're out smoking and things of that nature and we'll touch on that more in depth. But I couldn't leave this holiday week without getting that off my chest because the fact that homeboy was sitting there and trying to convince me to let him smoke the hookah, I'm like. If somebody says no, I'm like, all right, cool, I get it, I'm walking away. And that's in situations. I'm not going to sit here and press you out. I'm not going to plead my case. I'm not going to sit here and, try to convince you. I'm like, all right, it's a no, I get it, respect.
Yeah, but I don't even know if I would walk up to any dude.
Personally, I would never walk up
like,
to
hey.
Another dude's table and ask to pull his hookah.
Ain't that one like? Is that? I think that should be a law. Isn't that in the book somewhere?
I think it's definitely in there. If it's not an established rule, it's definitely down in the footnotes. This is thou shalt not.
Stab it.
Exactly.
All right.
I mean.
That's stamp. Don't walk up to someone's table you don't know and ask for a hookah. That's unetiquette. No, don't do that.
No.
That's rule number 101. Do not walk up and just smoke behind anyone. Know what you're smoking, enjoy what you're smoking, and know who you're smoking with. Always.
Smoke responsibly.
Always.
So man, before we get out of here, man, anything else you got this week?
Nah, I'm about to, try 10 different versions of turkey. I'm about to just sit here and enjoy family time, get myself, mentally ready. Like, this is like my 12-month mark. Like, this is like my year. Like, it's like the end of the year thing, because you wrapping up, you got 6 more weeks in the year, 5 more weeks in the year,
We just flying by.
So, this is where my, as I constantly think about what we're about to do, 2022 is going to be amazing. You start talking about it now, you talk about it all the time. Think about it, you claim it, you call it, you put it in fruition. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Thanksgiving, just sit back, enjoy it, see all the the fruits of my labor, fruits of our family's labor, enjoy it, and just rock out.
Definitely. I agree. I'm ready to, start getting my Thanksgiving fit together. Figure out, what I'm wearing, and like I said, get on my salads and, get ready for that 48-hour window of just eating everything I see.
Yeah. Got the Timbs out for us, so we good. So we up north, we out there in Philly, just enjoying it.
Yeah, see, you're in Philly, I'm in Central PA. Not too far away, but
okay.
Definitely, check in on y'all, see what those plates looking like.
Yeah.
'Cause everybody loves to post, their Thanksgiving plates.
Oh yeah, mine's like a smorgasbord. Smorgasbord. That's the best word to use for Thanksgiving. I want a smorgasbord of stuff.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Well, hey, before we head out, once again, thanks to our sponsors. Shisha to you. Definitely, follow them on IG. Follow the In the Bowl podcast on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. In the comments, give us hints of what you like, what flavors or different things to try out. We'll definitely give you our opinion on it. Until next time, hey, keep those coals fresh, keep your hookahs clean, stay safe, and hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Click like, comment, subscribe.